Hello everybody, Mike Brailsford with Brailsford Works. Thank you for joining me back in my shop today, as absolutely filthy as it is. So I'm in the middle of project mode, and what that means for me is I'm taking stuff out to use in projects. I'm taking it out. They don't always get put back, and the stuff accumulates. I get sawdust that I get some of it swept up, but I can't get it all of it because there's too much stuff in the way. And eventually, once get past my project, it's like, all right, stop. Time to do a big cleanup, and I'll get the shop so it's absolutely pristine, and the whole cycle starts all over again. But so today, the focus of today is to show you the next step in my production birdhouse work. And for today, it's going to be to show you how I'll do production finials. So I've got 6 more. I've completed 5. I've got 6 more sitting here. I've got finials on 4 of them. This one's got a top finial, but it's still missing a bottom one, so I'm going to do that today. That'll be one of them. And then I have 2 more that I still need to do finials top and bottom. I've got this one here. And I've got this one here. This one here, the finial is going to be something kind of special. I've got a special request or a challenge from a friend of mine, Richard Mills, on Woodworking with Dick. Please go see his channel because his stuff is amazing. But he's challenged me to put a particular finial on this one. And I'm not going to tell you about it. I'll let you see it once I'm done. And so I'm going to show you the process that I have developed to go through and knock out finials once I'm making production runs of these birdhouses. So without further ado, let's get on with the job at hand. All right, so here I've got my stock for my finials. I've got a 6-inch and a 4-inch one. Typically, I'll use one of each on each birdhouse, but I'm not a slave to that. I might do a particular design on a birdhouse, and heck, I might use 2 longs. I might use 2 shorts. Hey, I might even do some where I don't put a finial on it at all. You know, it just remains to be seen how I feel about the birdhouse as I'm turning it. But for the most part, this gives me a good general place to start. Like I said, this one's 6 inches long, and it's 2 by 2 square, and the same thing with a 4-inch, or 2 by 2, and that gives me plenty of space to make quite a nice finial. If I have to do something different, like a couple of those are bigger, I've got some other stock that I can use in a pinch if I need to do something like that. But so what I did with these is I have a lot of willow oak 1-inch boards, and I planed some up. I ripped it into 2-inch wide sections, and I glued them up into a big board, and then I cut that into 2-inch segments, and then I cut those segments down to 6 and 4-inch pieces, and that gave me, you know, all the stock I have here plus the stuff I've already done. All right, so with that, today we're going to work on just the standard one with a 4 and a 6, and we're going to start with the 6-inch, and this one will be probably going on the bottom. And so we'll work on the bottom finial first. So let's move over to the lathe and get on with it. So on each of these, I've already marked centers on them, and I've put a little starter hole on them on either side as well. And so I'm going to get this centered up in my cup drive, and bring my tailstock up and squeeze it in there. This cup drive that comes with the American Beauty has some amazing gripping force. It's very, very sharp, the cup is. All right, get my tool rest where I want it. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get it round. And in doing that, I'm going to use my spindle roughing gouge. So let's do that. For those of you new to turning, you can tell you've got a spindle round by putting your gouge on top, and you can hear it. If it bounces, then you definitely aren't round yet, and that's not round. So let's keep going. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is on each of my birdhouses, I make a 3/4 inch hole top and bottom. I'll start by making a 3/4 inch finial on this end, and then I can go ahead and make whatever I want from there. So let me go ahead and make the finial. When I do this, I use my Easy Wood Tools square tipped scraper, and let's get that. Yep. To get my size, I have a 3/4 inch wrench, and that's about right there. And if it's a little bit under, it's not really a problem because there's a big shoulder on this, and I use CA glue to hold it on, and it's not going anywhere. So I'm also going to square the shoulder up a little bit better, and I will use my parting tool for that. There we go. So from there, I'm going to use the general design of whatever birdhouse I'm particularly working on. This one's got, I got some jagged edges on this one, and I'm going to use that in the design of this next one here. And I'll be working with my Sorby, I think this is a 1/2 inch spindle gouge. So that, all right, so that was it. Alright, I'm going to take this to the bandsaw and take off the top and the bottom. Alright, so this is what will be the bottom finial. I'm pretty happy with that. I think it goes well with this one. Now I got to make a small one for the top, so let's do that now. So I'm not, I don't feel a slave to making a straight up onion or ball finial. I like to change it up and kind of let my imagination run wild and do something different and try to make it so it'll, fit that particular piece. So this is what I think I've come up with. I'll put it on there, and if I don't like it, I'll try something else. So let me get this one sanded up. Alright, so it's time to part this one off. Alright, let me cut off the bottom and straighten up the top a little bit, and I will be back. Okay, so this is what I've come up with for this one. I try to follow, again, the style of what I've got on the Birdhouse already. And I think I've done that, but I'm going to let my wife be the final judge. And if for some reason she just hates them or whatever, just doesn't think it works, then I can whip out another one. But I don't try not to do too many of those because... the idea here is production. You don't want to have to go back too many times. I usually trust my initial instincts, and I think for the most part they're right. But, yeah, so this is what we've got. So the next step will be gussying up the birdhouses, and that'll be happening in the next video in this series. So keep watching, and I'll show you how I dress these up and then put finish on them so I get them ready to sell. So after sitting here looking at it sitting, I've decided that I'm going to put the large one on the top, the smaller one on the bottom, and I think the overall look is much better. It actually fits kind of nice on the top, and it kind of goes well on the bottom as well. So you know what? You got to be flexible. And so that's what I've done. All right. Thank you all for watching. If you think you've gotten anything out of this, please click like and subscribe. I appreciate that. Also, leave me comments. Tell me what you think. I'll answer every single one. And as always, everybody, please stay safe and have a good day. Bye-bye.